Hi everyone, welcome to this tutorial today where we are going to discuss 3D modeling in Autodesk Inventor. And through this tutorial, we'll show you all the basics that you need to know to be able to successfully model 3D sketches in Autodesk Inventor. So once you've opened up Autodesk Inventor, your home screen should look something like this. And as you can see, we don't have anything here yet, but from this page, you can create 2D sketches or even open up existing parts that you want to edit. So to get back to creating a new sketch, we'll head to the file option at the top of your window here, and we'll click on that and we will select new. Once you've done that, you'll see this pop-up window appear, and you can then see that you can create 2D and 3D objects, even assemblies and drawings as well. But for today's tutorial, we'll stick to creating 2D and 3D objects, and for this, we are going to select the standard.ipt file, and then at the bottom of your screen, we'll click on Create. So once Autodesk has entered your drawing environment, you'll see a bunch of tools at the top of your ribbon here where you can do 3D modeling or sketching. But to get back to how to create this sketch, I'm simply going to right click on the screen and you'll see this pop-up appear here. And from this, we will simply drag down and select Create a New Sketch. And then you'll see these representation of all the working planes that you can select depending on your orientation of the sketch that you want to create. You can then select either your XY plane, your XZ plane, or even your YZ plane. So from here you can then just create your sketch to whatever orientation you need. So to demonstrate this today, I'm simply going to select the XZ plane here, and you'll see Autodesk rotate to something like this. So in the bottom left corner, we can see our orientation of our sketch at this moment. And at the top right, you can see the layout of this part. So to change this, if you want to change your axis, we can simply flip this side at the right top. And let's head to the bottom of this section. So we would like to have our z-axis pointing upwards and our x-axis to the right. So from here, once you're done with this and you're happy with your orientation, you can simply right click on this section here, and you can then move down to set current view as either your top view or your front view. So for this sketch today, we're going to select the front view, and now you can see our layout on the right hand side is exactly what we want, as well as our orientation of this part. So now we can start our 2D sketch. To start our sketch off, you can see we've got our orientation correct now, and from this we can simply start the sketch. So follow along throughout this tutorial, because we are not only going to sketch a 2D sketch, but we are going to add extrusions to give the sketch some volume, and then we will do a cutout extrusion to show you exactly how to manage your extrusions in Autodesk Inventor. So let's start off to draw our simple drawing here. So as you can see, I've selected the line option in the create section of our ribbon. And now as I scroll, you can see your X and Y coordinates. To be able to enter these coordinates manually, you can simply click on your tab button on your keyboard, and you can see the highlighted option here. So once your X value is highlighted, you can then simply type in a value for your X value, and then once you click tab, you can do the same for your Y value. So let's say we want to start the sketch at the origin, so let's do an X and a Y of 0, and once I click tab again, you will see a preview of this point on your drawing environment. So once you're happy with this, I can simply click enter to continue my line from here. So we can see our line is now situated at the origin, and from this we can do a line with a length, and you can even set your degrees for that line if you would like. So to simplify this, I'm simply going to draw just a simple part just to show you guys exactly how this would look. So I've got my one line here, and as you can see, my line option does continue when you've selected your first line. So in order for you to end this line, you can simply right click and then press OK. So once you did that, we can see that our line is now alone and we do not have any other lines continuing while we are drawing. So you can then just move your dimension here. But let's continue to draw this. So I'm just going to select my line option again, and I'm going to continue from this point at the top here, and then I'm simply going to enter some values just to give this bit of shape. So I'm just going to enter a simple drawing here, and then we will start our 3D modeling and then our extrusions of this part. So let's continue. We've got this L shape going here, and you can see all of our dimensions on the sketch. And if you want to change any of these dimensions, you can simply double click on this dimension and the edit dimension pop-up window will appear where you can then edit this dimension. So let's just close this. Once you're happy with this shape that we've drawn up here, you can simply press finish sketch to finish this 2D sketch. So now that our 2D sketch is finished, we can then start to add some dimensions to this. So at the right top corner, you can then just click on either a view that you want to see of your part, or you can then just drag this option to see something that you would like to see here. So let's say this is our front view and I click and I drag this, you can start to see a 3D shape. This is a 2D sketch, we haven't included anything yet. So for this step here, let's head to the create option in our ribbon. We are now in the 3D model section of this. So we are then going to head to the extrude function. And from here, we can start to add volume to the sketch. So once you've entered the extrude options here, you can see that you can select your profiles of the sketches that you want to extrude, and you can extrude into different directions. So as you can see, our default extrude direction is set to this way. If you want to extrude in the other direction, you can do that as well. And you can do a symmetrical extrude, which will then be 5 millimeters to the one side and 5 millimeters to the other side if this distance stays at 10. And even if you want to do an asymmetric extrude, then you can add an option for your distance A and your distance B if you want to extrude to something like this. But let's just keep to our default extrude today. And we are now going to enter the distance of this section that we want to extrude. So we want a 40 millimeter extrude in that direction. And now you can see the preview of this extrude in this window. So if you're happy with this and you're happy with this extrusion, we can then just click OK. And our first extrusion of this part is done. And we now have a 3D model that we can work with. So to include some cutouts onto this option here, we are going to simply head to the 2D sketch, start a 2D sketch, and once you select this option, you can see once I drag over our part, you can then start to draw anything on this surface that is highlighted. So let's do our first drawing on this surface. See, once you click there, it rotates automatically to this section where you can then start your drawing. Let's just get that back in picture. So now I'm simply going to do a rectangle here. I'm going to select my rectangle for this 2D sketch, and I'm just going to show you guys. I'm just going to do a rectangle, doesn't matter where. I only am going to do the points on these boundaries so that we do have a precise cutout. Once I'm happy with this rectangle, I'm going to right click, I'm going to press OK. So from this section, you can see we just plotted down a rectangle and there isn't any actual dimensions here. So for this, I'm simply going to head in my ribbon, I'm going to head to the constraint section and select my dimension option. And from this, you can then select points or even lines that you want to determine the dimension for. So let's do this point at the top here and the point on that rectangle, and we can see this dimension that we have here. So let's say we want this at 5 millimeters. Once I enter this, you will see the rectangle actually just expands to that area, and you are still in your dimension section. So if you want to end this dimension, you can right click and press OK. Otherwise, you can continue to add dimensions to this new sketch. So for this, let's do 5 millimeters on this side as well. So I've selected the corners of the rectangle and our center point there. So let's do a 5 millimeters there as well. And now you can see we've got this huge rectangle set up on our drawing. And if you rotate this, you will see our drawing is actually only on this surface and it won't be on the surface down here. So if you want to draw something on this bottom surface, I would recommend to finish the sketch. So if you're happy with this rectangle, let's finish our sketch. And from this, you can see we have our sketch, our first sketch there, and it's at the top section of our 3D model. So if you want to then include another sketch, let's do one on the bottom tier here. So let's do one on this surface. Once you click there, Autodesk will rotate to that, and now you can sketch from here as well. So let's do another rectangle here, and I'm just simply going to select anywhere, doesn't really matter. Let's do another rectangle like that, and now we can add some dimensions to this. So let's do these corners here. We've got that section, let's make that a 15 millimeters section there, and let's do another dimension for this area and include that as a 15 millimeter as well. And to finish this up, I'm going to select this corner here. I'm going to select, you can select the line anywhere you want, and you can have that dimension there as well. Let's do that at a 10 millimeter just to show you exactly how you can add dimensions. And once you are happy with this sketch, then you can just simply finish your sketch at the top there. And now we've got two sketches on different surfaces. So let's do a cutout extrusion on these just to show you how that would work. So I'm going to head to the extrude section, and now you can see it, Autodesk doesn't automatically select which sketch you want to do. So let's select the profile. We'll select this section here, and we'll do our first extrusion from there. So you can see this extrusion, that the option that we have, it joins to our existing drawing or our existing 3D model, but we want to have a cutout. So let's change this direction, and let's change this dimension here. Let's do, for example, a 7 millimeter extrusion. And once you have this, there are options in the output section. As you can see, the first option was a joint section. So once you want to change this, you can head down and select the cut option here. And this gives us a preview of the section that will be cut out from our 3D model. And once you're happy with this, you can simply then just select OK, and you can see our next cutout extrusion that we have done. So let's extrude our bottom tier there. So I'm going to select the extrusion, and now that you can see, and it has automatically selected the sketch because there are no other sketches on this 3D model. If we have another sketch somewhere around here, it would have opted for us to select the profile that we want to either join to our section or even cut out from this. So let's do another cutout. I want to do in the opposite direction, but if you want to cut out and you want to cut through the whole section here, our first option at the top, we entered a distance that we want to cut out from our 3D model. For this section, let's do a whole cutout. So I'm going to select our through all option here, and as you can see, we have a cutout that is running right through our 3D model. And if you're happy with this, you can simply select OK and see we've got this cutout. And now you can see this part, your 3D part, has started to take some shape. So this is an easy and a simple example of how to use Autodesk Inventor to create 2D sketches, from the 2D sketch, add extrusions to give your part some volume, and then again use another 2D sketches on different sections of your drawing to be able to create cutouts from there. And I hope this tip was of great help to you. So if this was helpful, guys, please remember to like the video down below and subscribe to our channel so you do not miss any of our new content that will be coming out soon. But thanks for watching, guys, and until next time, cheers.